Speaking for the entire county, serving Dillon, Latta, and Lakeview by covering our local news and upcoming events. Please join us now for Chamber Moments.
Hello, welcome to Chamber Moments. I'm Johnny Lors. Today I have as my guest Pat Laird, and Pat is here to talk about an event going on with the Dillon County Theater. Hi Pat, how are you?
Hi Johnny, thanks for having me today.
Thank you for being here. I think there's a special fundraiser coming up for the theater.
There is. The Dillon County Theater Board is hosting a special event. It's called Supper and a Song. It's a fundraiser. We received a grant and did a lot of work to the theater earlier this past year, and but we still have some work to be done, and so we're going to try to raise some funds to complete this work.
Now, when is the fundraiser? Where is it? And do you buy tickets at the door? Or let's talk a bit about the fundraiser itself.
Okay, all right. The fundraiser itself is going to feature Nick Townsend, who is known in the PD very well for his culinary efforts as well as his singing voice. So we have asked Nick if he would please come and be a part of our fundraiser. It's going to be Thursday, January the 30th, starting at 6:30 at the Twin Lakes Country Club. And the tickets are single $25 or for a couple $40. Now, a couple can constitute anything. 2 tickets for $40, in other words, is what we're saying.
Okay. Now, is there a special dress for the evening or anything?
No, just casual. Just casual. Just casual. Just come out and we're going to have heavy hors d'oeuvres and.
I think there's a silent auction.
And there's a silent auction involved as well. So we've got a lot of nice items for our silent auction.
Now, do people purchase the tickets in advance or at the door?
In advance. We would like in advance tickets. We're going to try to limit it to around 200 tickets.
Okay. Now, to pick up the tickets, the chamber?
You can pick them up at the chamber or
any board member?
Any board member if you know who the board members are.
Okay.
Myself, Robin Thompson, Jan Austin, some of those that would be Linda Langley. Some
Francis Tyler.
Francis Tyler.
Yeah, so that's a good array of folks. Eleanor Powers over in the Latta area.
In the Latta area, right.
So
the rest of our folks work out of town. Okay.
So they're spread throughout, but you can definitely get them, or just call the chamber.
Or just call the chamber.
Okay. Let's give our viewers the date, the time, the location.
Okay. The Supper and a Song will be Thursday, January 30th at 6:30 at the Twin Lakes Country Club.
Okay.
In Dillon, in Hamer, I guess.
Hamer, looking forward to it. And we'll be entertained and by Nick Townsend. And I think you've got a few surprises up your sleeve.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We don't want to let it all out of the bag right now. So, but anyway, so we hope everybody will come and enjoy an evening of fellowship.
Okay, thank you, Beth.
Thank you.
I'm Johnny Lors with Chamber Moments. Hello, welcome to Chamber Moments. I'm Johnny Lors. Today I have as my guest Gerald Berry, and Jerry is here to tell us about a wonderful event that's going to be going on in Dillon.
Right.
And I'm excited. It's the Drifters.
Yes, the original Drifters.
I love it.
Original, yeah.
I remember them, I saw them at Francis Marion.
Okay.
And when I was in college there, and that's just been a year or two.
Okay. Well, this is the group the courts awarded the title to. There are lots of Drifters groups around, but this is the original Drifters, with either the widow of one of the original members or the daughter who signs their contract. So I'm really excited. We've signed the contract, and they will be here February the 21st. Okay?
Okay. Now, I know you have booked the Dillon County Theater for this event, but there seems to be a great deal of interest. So let's talk about if we have to move the venue, because the theater only sits around 300.
Right.
And if you're going to sell more than 300 tickets, so let's talk about that. What will happen?
Yeah, there's been a lot of interest, like you said. People have already asked me for tickets, which have not been printed yet. That's a whole new logistical game. But if we have more people who would like to see the show than the Dillon County Theater can seat, Then we are considering using the new Dillon High School auditorium, which I just visited maybe 15, 20 minutes ago, which is a beautiful facility too. But that will be announced in the paper. Yeah, if there's a change in venue, either when you call to reserve your tickets, you will be told about the change in venue, or you will see articles in the newspaper. Hopefully next week. I'm working on one right now which answers all these questions people have asked me.
Now, Jerry, let's talk a little bit about the tickets, the price of the tickets.
Right.
How much are they going to be right now?
Okay.
A range, we have a range for them.
Well, it all depends. If we do it at the Dillon County Theater, it was suggested that I charge $30 per seat. If we do it at the high school, they're going to give me their seating chart and a floor plan of the stage so we can actually juggle it around, and maybe there will be different prices for different areas, maybe $30 for prime seats, $25 for others, and maybe $20 for those seated more to the rear of the auditorium. I think that's only fair.
But and there's no bad seat in either venue.
I saw it for the first time today.
So
beautiful.
Yeah, so it'll be absolutely fantastic, but either location will be wonderful.
And we really want to, in the newspaper article, I address what we've talked about many times. I would like to place things in the venues that best suit those productions. And so I've got another one, as you know, coming up in April, which may fit well here. Because I've seen them on the huge stage at Givens Performing Arts Center in Pembroke, which was almost too large for that two-person act. So that may end up here at the Dillon County Theater as planned.
Okay, but let's go back to the Drifters. Now, you said February the
21st. This magic moment is what I'm calling it. Okay, yes.
Is it a Friday or Saturday
It'll
evening?
be a Friday night.
Friday night.
Could have booked them for 2 nights, but I did not want to take the risk.
Well, I can understand that, and you want to leave people wanting more. We want them to come back, and you want to have other artists also coming in throughout the year and
we want to complement what the Dillon County Theater does. That's also going to be in the paper. We'd like to bring maybe 4 or 5 professional acts or performers to Dillon and use the different venues throughout the county, which I think is the good thing. So.
Definitely. So tickets, when are they going to be available? Because I know people were wanting them for Christmas.
Okay, yes. The tickets will be on sale for the supporters and the patrons and the members a week before the performance. And to the general public, those tickets will be available the week of the performance.
Now, will there be only one phone call that they make, or just one location?
There'll be one phone call to call, one number to call.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you so much.
I'm Johnny Lewis with Chamber Moments. Hello, welcome to Chamber Moments. I'm Johnny Lewis. Today I have as my guest Don Lewis, a local meteorologist. Hi, Don. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Doing well. Let's talk weather, because we've had a whole array of everything, and it's just the first month of the year. It's just January.
Yeah, one thing that really sticks out so far is how many warm days we've had coming into the new year. We've had several days in the 70s, and of course our normal high this time of year would only be in the middle 50s. Our normal low would be a lower and middle 30s, so we're got off to a warm start. That means January will probably go down. Even if we have some cold weather at the very end of January, it'll still be going down probably as an above normal month. December was above normal. So meteorologically, we look at winter as being December, January, February. And if you look at it that way, you'd have to have a very, very, very cold February in order to have a colder than normal winter. So chances are we'll go down as a warmer than normal winter for this winter.
Yeah, I've already had several of my plants in the yard to start blooming and everything like this.
Yeah, that's been one benefit to it, the nice blooms out there. And I guess one thing people do expect, though, is enough cold weather to try to keep the pest population, as far as insects, down a little bit as we go into the new spring. So we'll have to see how that all shakes out. But we'll sure to have some cold weather as we go through the rest of this winter. There's plenty of cold air that's built up across parts of northern Canada, and sooner or later that will find ways to get down more intrusively into the U.S., and that will include us.
Now, when the cold weather comes, do we need to look out for the snow or ice or anything like that? So that's always a possibility.
That is always a possibility, especially if you're having that battle between the warm air that's trying to hold stubborn like it has this season and cold air that pushes in. The one setup that we can have for snow around here is have the cold air in place, and then the warm air try to bubble its way back in from the south and form a southern storm. And sometimes, with enough cold air left in place, that can lead to a snow or ice event for us. So we'll keep an eye on that. As we sit here today, there's nothing in the cards for the next 10, 15 days. But once you get into beyond that and into February and into March, there's still open doors for that possibility.
Okay. What do we need to do to prepare for the spring now? Since it's already warm, it feels like spring. What do we need to do to prepare for that?
Well, as we go on into the transition for springtime, we need to turn our attention to the weather threat that happens most often in spring is severe weather. Mm-hmm. And we're just talking about that battle between cold and warm. Mm-hmm. That really kicks into gear usually in March, April, and May. If you look historically at severe weather outbreaks, that's when some of our biggest have happened. For example, the famous tornadoes of 1984 was the very end of March 28th, I believe, and March 27th, one of the two. So right at the end of March and on through April and into May, we historically have had some really big severe weather outbreaks across the southeast. So that would probably be the main focal point of what people should be on guard for as far as adverse weather going into springtime.
Okay. What about the planting season?
Planting season, well, you want to make sure you're past your historical frost before you go too much seriously into spring as far as planting. Even if you're having a relatively mild winter, some of our mild winters have had a late cold snap. Mm-hmm. So if you have delicate plants you're planting, try to be sure that you're beyond that danger period before you actually go out and invest the time and energy in that and the money, because you wouldn't want to be for naught and have to do it over. Mm-hmm. Aside from that, early spring would usually be welcome by most folks. Certainly, farmers would love to get an early start, mm-hmm. getting their fields ready and getting things planted. So, a longer season is usually better than a short season. A short season means you had some sort of hiccup along the way, either a late start or a premature end. So, a long growing season is usually beneficial for everybody.
Okay. If somebody would like for you to come and speak with them concerning weather or hospice, are you available? Absolutely.
On weather or hospice, I love to come speak to anybody individually or as a group. If they would like me to speak to a group, just give me a phone call. My number is 843-506-2067. That's 843-506-2067. Or they can reach out to me at Hospice Care of South Carolina or through you at the Chamber.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm Johnny Lewis with Chamber Moments.